death comes for us all, Finn. Not for you, though. Not yet.
I am always cursed to be here.
Yeah.
With you.
Correct.
Hey, everyone. It's Finn here from the SDGC Live at PAX West 2025 with everyone's favorite DreadXP guy. Hunter has no voice. How are you doing today?
Well, I got some voice, which is better than it's been many times we've talked.
That is true.
Yeah. This is not great, but it's all right.
So, last time I think I officially interviewed you, you were still with Berserk Studios, and now you're with DreadXP. How has life on the scary side been for you?
Horror is a really fun genre, honestly, right? Like, business aside, it's pretty sweet to work in a genre where, like, very much like film, I feel like horror games are still, to some extent, taken less seriously, so you get to play more in the space, right? The expectations from people, in a lot of ways, and not from the fans, but from, like, the industry externally are, like, lower, and that, I feel that's where I feel at home, is being underestimated, so it's let us, like, sign a bunch of games that are weird, you know?
But that's what I love about DreadXP is that you guys do horror games, but the genres are incredibly varied. You have like dating sims, and you have RPGs, and you have dungeon crawlers, and you have action games, and you have...
I think we've honestly, in the last 2 years since, I took over directing, originally with Brian Clark, right, of The Mortuary, but now I've been running it alone for a little over a year now. I think we leaned even harder, because like dating sims and stuff, we've got some games we're looking to sign that are like new, other weirder attempts at horror genre, right? And that's not going to stop, because that's part of what's fun is like, PSX horror game. You're like, but you lose all your limbs. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Dungeon crawler, parkour, manhunt, like sandbox survival. Yeah, like part of the fun of horror is I would joke internally that like we don't have an official like slogan anymore, but if we had one, it might be plausibly horror. Like,
we'll put B-roll footage on that one.
Yeah, put a little B-roll.
So I wanted to talk about two games in particular today.
Yeah.
Secret of Weepstone and Entropy,
right.
Because from my love of RPGs, those are infinitely like the ones that drew my attention. So what are the stories behind those?
Well, so the Secret of Weepstone is a game I'm actually working on with Dakota. That's our game. Funny story is Sean and I have been friends for a long time, about 15 some odd years now. And we play D&D together, and, I'm his dungeon master, but he played D&D in the 80s with his brother and friends and stuff, and I'm just, like, old in my heart, I guess, and 80s D&D speaks to me in a way that modern D&D doesn't. So over the pandemic, the very last time, we played off and on for years, but played some 5e, right, when everyone was locked inside, and I hated it. We got to, like, level 5, and I remembered that I hate running, like, 5e when people start to get more powerful because they have so many options. It's a whole thing. I told him, hey, man, I'm tired of running this. And he asked, hey, will you run Keep on the Borderlands, the iconic module out of the 80s BX Basic Expert, like the basic box set? And I was like, yeah, do you want to run the real rules like the 80s? Like, he's like, yeah. And so in preparation of what the project he was working on that became Weepstone, we ran through like a 6-month-ish campaign of Keep on the Borderlands, and it really, like, for me, revitalized my love of DMing. It reminded me, like, oh man, this is what I missed. I missed like making up like rulings because there's no rule, and like it just getting like really off the rails and stuff. And so when he came to me about a year ago now with Weepstone, he's like, so hey, look, I know you run Dread. This is not a pitch for you to sign us. I just made this game, and you're the target market, so if you don't like it, I'm in deep, deep trouble. But also, I'm really hoping you're interested in writing on it. And so I looked at it and I was like, yeah, of course, man, I'll write on that. That's amazing. I was like, it probably can't sign it, right? It'd be weird to sign my own game.
Nepotism.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, right? I think that'd be more cronyism.
Cronyism, yeah. Favoritism, sure. But,
An ism.
Yeah, an ism. And so Brian was still co-directing with me at the time. And Brian also plays D&D, and so I was like, hey, Brian, can I show you my friend's game? I think you'll just think it's cool. And I showed it to him, and he's like, oh, this is rad. Are we going to sign this? I'm like, I can't sign that. He's like, why not? It's like one less game we got to sign, man. Like, this is awesome. So I asked the whole crew, and I asked Patrick, the owner, said, you guys, hey, look, knowing that I am friends with the dev and that I'm going to be writing on it, know that I would want everyone to honestly want to work on this. Because remember, towards the end, all games get pretty hard to make, right? There's that, I always call it the pit, the last bit where you're like, why did we do this? Like, it's always, and then at the end you're like, oh, I remember why, yeah. And so I was like, when we're in the pit, I want to make sure that we all, like, you guys really wanted to make it so that you're not like Hunter signed his game. And so unanimously, everyone's like, yeah, we want to work on this. This is great. So we did end up signing it. We've been working on it. I've been on for about a year now internally. And, the demo's here at PAX for the first time. And it's going to be available pretty soon online. That's the plan. And then, so yeah, as far as like what it is, it's a first-person dungeon crawler, inspired by the art especially, but the playstyle, the rules, all of 1980s Dungeons & Dragons, right? Like in its soul. And it runs on a modified version of what has become BX D&D, right? I wrote a version to make it actually work as a video game because it turns out that when you're converting rules from the 80s, you need more rules. But yeah, it's real-time dungeon exploration through a 3D dungeon with hand-drawn black and white line art and a real-time crosshatch shader that basically makes it like walking through a module, which is exactly what we wanted. And then, yeah, it's going to be a...
I like the way you literally show the dice just being thrown out.
Oh, yeah. And something we joke about is that we did figure out a way to make it so that the dice animations, you can speed them up.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to let you remove them. Like, people want to know, like, can it just be the numbers? No. And Sean and I both are like, I don't know if we want to do that. Yeah, so you have turn-based combat, right? Which is, I think, more authentic to the spirit of the D&D era we're emulating, right? It is... it's not like a JRPG, but it is kind of an overlap of traditional turn-based combat.
Yeah.
So, because we're not trying to like be Baldur's Gate. We're not Baldur's Gate. We are old school D&D with high. Yeah, there you go. Beautiful timing, right?
Right.
When your characters die, one of the other things we've added is something called Mortal Favors, where it's actually part of the story of the game. In addition to being a mechanic, each person confers a dying boon on their companions. Which is meant to, one, just be cool because cool things are rad, but also make it so that when you lose a character, that sucks, right? But we didn't want people to feel compelled to save scum to save every character, because if you're coming from more modern role-playing games, this isn't balanced for you all to die, but the lethality is higher than many people will be used to, and we want to teach them that that's okay, that's intended, that's the play style of the games we're emulating, right? In that Keep on the Borderlands campaign we ran, I had them roll 3 characters each. So just giant pilot guys just walked into the Caves of Chaos. And Sean, my co-dev's brother, when we all sat down to roll, he rolled a character with perfect 18 strength, which is 3 6-sided dice, right? In order, no re-rolls. The odds of that are none, right? Yeah. And that guy, he also somehow got like pretty good gold. So he somehow at level 1 was able to get equipped with full plate mail. So you got a max strength warrior, full plate mail. They kick in the very first door in the Caves of Chaos. Goblin crits him, stabs him in the neck, dead.
Oh, God.
Never got to attack ever.
That's hilarious.
So they finish that combat, and one of the other characters immediately strips his body for the plate mail, right? It's like expensive. And then they proceed with their day. Old school, right? Yeah. And so that's kind of what we're going for with Weepstone, is not just like the playing of that, but I always joke that like if Baldur's Gate is a game that uses the rules of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons to play through a campaign, ours is a game that uses the rules and art of D&D to give you the experience of what it was like to sit in the basement with your buddies and play D&D.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what about Entropy?
So Entropy is the next game from James Ragg, lovely Hellplace, developer of Dread Delusion. Which, for anyone who doesn't know, for context, was a kind of I always call it a Morrowind-like, but like a spiritual successor to Morrowind, in that it was an open-world, first-person, like real-time combat, exploration RPG. Beautiful writing, beautiful world-building. Like, such an insane moonshot that I still can't believe he pulled off. But, we knew immediately we wanted to work with him again when he said he had another project. And I think James's, best work is in world-building, is in stories and visuals. And so he wanted to try a different style of combat and a different style of exploration. And so this one, if the core of Dread Delusion is Morrowind, the core of Entropy is classic JRPGs. So it's got an open world map, right, where you run around from points of light on a flat, surface.
Very classic Final Fantasy.
Yeah, by design too, and like kind of the mid-tier later era, right, like pre-X and forward, right?
Like FF9-ish. Yeah.
Absolutely, right in the pocket of your 8s, your 9s, but through the world building lens of it's cool. He made zines for the art team to get a cohesive vision, and the stuff he's drawing from. It's Jack Vance's Dying Earth and other the future already happened, and now the technology is so old that it's like kind of magic, and the world is dying, and everything's a huge bummer, but also it's kind of cool. Like, anyone who's played Dread Delusion knows that he's really good at kind of that classic weird fantasy. So this one's a little bit more inspired by tech, like, than the furthest tech that you really got in Dread Delusion, like Steam, like Clockwork stuff. This one goes a little further, but it, very heavily influenced also by like Fallout. So the art style, he's working with a lot of the members of the other team from Dread Delusion. So if you like that, there's a through line of those. But the demo we have here is kind of a good taste, because his is also turn-based combat, a la AJRPG, but a very traditional style. But there are ranked battles. I mean, everything you're going to want to see is there, overlaid with his like special like flavor of like weird, low poly kind of, yeah.
And final question for you,
Yes,
in terms of the real questions, you know how that is.
Naturally.
Has there been a horror game in the past several years that you've felt like, damn, I really wish I was part of the Dread? Like, has there been one that got away from you that you just like, that would have been cool? Not that you tried and failed to get, but just like, man, you should have been part of the Dread family.
Gosh, I don't know, man. I'm such a broad fan of the genre. And like collectively as a crew, I think our tastes span so many, right? I think it's more that there's like a bunch of games that are either recently out or still coming out that I think are really cool and strong, that either they already had like publishers, or like maybe they're like scope's like not a huge fit for our size and stuff. But there are some pretty cool games out there. Really like Cyberlich. It's like a first-person hand-drawn shooter from a team that is led by this guy Clipper, who does tabletop RPG stuff. Actually, right? I'm incredibly biased, apparently, but it's got a really cool like got a real like adult swimmy, like kind of similar to Weepstone's like drawn style, but like frenetic and ridiculous. That's really awesome. I like that. There was another game that came out that I played at PAX a while back that I liked, called Hellskate. That was like Hellskate was like the vibes of, I was like, okay, like a plausibly horror skate game is pretty great. Like there's another one coming out that I think is pretty neat too, which is We Harvest Shadows. I talked to the dev at East for that. Great game. There's a lot. I mean, honestly, you can't sign every game.
Hey, right? Not with that attitude. Come on out.
Right. No, it turns out we are mortal. But part of the cool thing is, so we do the Indie Horror Showcase every year. Part of what's cool about that is so many people submitting their games, right, and like curating. And of course, you can't put them all in, but like White Knuckle came to us via the showcase. They cold submitted that trailer, and after doing the showcase, everyone at the team was super stoked for it. And I was trying to figure out how to reach out, and then through happenstance, a mutual friend was like, they live in Albuquerque, right? I ran into them at an event I host, and they were asking about how to get a hold of DreadXP, and I told them, well, he lives here, and we all met in person. Yeah. So, like, I don't know that any get away. I'm always excited to see when any of them, like any horror game, ships, right? Yeah. Whether it's with us or with somebody else, like my heart is always just in, hopefully, whoever you work with, whether it's solo, right? I come from Berserk. Berserk is almost, up until Infernax, was all self-published, right? I'm still a big proponent of, if you can handle all the things that you would need that a publisher handles, you can fund it and you can do all that. There are arguments for self-publishing, right? Like, it'd be madness. I just want to see your game ship. I want to see as many games as possible do well, and I want to see people be able to make their next game.
That's why Hunter is the future of this industry, and we love him. So, I think I've run out of random questions for you. You can't ask you cake versus pie. So I'm gonna on the fly come up with one for you. Okay. This is gonna be random. Have you seen K-pop Demon Hunters?
Oh yeah, a few times.
Okay.
Quite a few.
Favorite character?
How about the one I think about the most? Sure. It's Baby Saja. Like, I just have a lot of questions.
Goo Goo Gaga.
Yeah, Goo Goo Gaga. Like,
my daughter quotes that all the time. She's like, and Baby Saja is the winner. Goo Goo Gaga. She just says that like 6 times in a row.
That's what it is, man, is that like he's got the baby face, but then when his like voice actor raps too, he's like deep and like resonant. Yeah, and the part where he wins and they cut to him and he just has the like svelte is like Goo Goo Gaga.
Yeah, that part's amazing.
Dude, I think about it a lot, actually. Like, I don't really know what to do with it. It's like in my head.
It's just there, yeah. Oh, as always, man, absolute pleasure. DreadXP's been blowing up, and I love it. And you guys are great. Go team.